Good night and welcome to the Galen Hour. It's always a pleasure to be here with you on Wednesday nights for the Galen Hour. The Galen Hour is a production of Galen University. It focuses on academic excellence, sustainable development, and lifelong learning. We never miss an opportunity to highlight our soaring eagles. Tonight we have 4 of our eagles on with us tonight, and we are going to hear from them. At least 3 of them came to Galen straight from high school. We have one online who went to junior college and then came to Galen. There's Christian. Welcome, Christian. Loza, thank you for joining us virtually.
Hi, good night.
Good night. We also have in studios Maya Balon, a current Galen Eagle in the undergraduate program. Welcome, Maya. We have with us Austin Danielchek, who's also a Galen Eagle in the undergraduate program. Welcome, Austin. And we have Miss Celine Barrow, who is also a Galen Eagle, who is in the MBA program. So you'll get to hear from our 4 Eagles about their journey, their transition from high school or from junior college and what that entailed. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with the Galen Hour. Stay tuned.
Welcome to a world of endless possibilities where academic excellence meets the beauty of nature. Join us at Galen University in beautiful Belize, where we always excel.
Galen University, more than just a place to study.
Yes, so we're here with the Galen Hour. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Diana Gomez-Perifit. Like I said, it's always a pleasure. We have our Eagles on tonight with us. And I want to start by asking each of our Eagles to introduce him or herself to us, tell us who they are, where they came from, which high school they came from, and what program they're doing. So just the basic information so our viewing audience can know a little bit more about you. Celine, would you like to start for us, please?
Okay, sure. So my name is Celine Barra. I'm currently enrolled in the Master of Business Administration MBA program. I'm doing the final year, so my graduation is set for next year, July 13th.
Wonderful. Thank you, Celine, and welcome to the Galen Hour. Mia, would you kindly?
Well, my name is Mia Balon. I come from Toledo District. Graduated from Juliancha Technical High School, and I'm currently doing my bachelor's degree in criminal justice as a second-year student in Galen University.
Welcome to the Galen Hour, Mia. I got your name right. Austin, kindly introduce yourself.
Hi, good night. So my name is Austin Donaldchek. I'm from the Kyle District. I'm in my 3rd year. I'm a computer science major, graduating out of Sacred Heart College.
Very good. Thank you, Austin. Welcome to the Galen Hour. And we have virtually Christian Loza. Christian, kindly introduce yourself.
Hey, good night, everyone. I'm from Corozal District. I have actually transferred from junior college, Corozal Junior College, and I've completed my bachelor's in business at Galen and my master's degree.
Very good. Welcome to the Galen Hour, Christian. All right, so we'll get to hear more from each of our Eagle who's on here tonight, and I'm hoping that tonight's episode helps in all of the students who are now looking at what's next for me, right? Be it coming straight from high school, which is what most of you will focus on, but just thinking about school and what it really entails. And so I want to start with those of you who came straight from high school to Galen, because that's something we market to our prospective students. You can come straight to Galen from high school. We're finding more and more students doing that. We have out of the 67 or so secondary schools in our country, we have students coming from about 47 or 48 of those schools. So there definitely is a growing a change in terms of how students are viewing continuing their education. So could you tell us, and I start with you, Mia, moving from high school to university can be overwhelming, right? So what was your experience like transitioning from high school, is Julian Shaw you came from, to Galen University?
Well, my experience was a bit drastic, seeing as I came from all the way down south. So I guess the biggest challenge I had to face was the cultural shock, whereas I knew everybody from down there, but here I knew no one. Galen has made me feel so at home when I transitioned, and it made the transition much more easier than I thought it would be.
Oh, fantastic. We'll hear more from you, Mia, but certainly that is good to hear that you were not only facing moving from high school, but also a cultural change and coming from Punta Gorda
Yes.
to Cayo District. Very good. Austin?
Okay, so for me, it was almost seamless. It was just a very smooth transition. I was able to just instantly adapt, and it became my new home.
Beautiful. Listen, this is going to be fantastic tonight. We're getting different perspectives, and this is what we want because everybody's story is a little bit different. Celine?
So I came straight from St. Catherine Academy into Galen University, and for me, the transition was, to me, an eye opener because you come from high school and you kind of expect, or you're used to doing a level of work. And then when you transition into the university level, it's a different atmosphere, meaning a different level of work. But of course, Galen have a lot of different things in place that really allows that transition to be very smooth. But for me, it just shows as you progress with your education path what it's like from high school to university.
Fantastic. And you came from Belize City too. And still it was different for you. Coming from high school, you're just really becoming, you're young adults, and high school is very restrictive, if I may, and so coming to a university that doesn't have those same structures, it has to be kind of daunting. Christian, I know you're on, and you came from junior college to Galen University. You want to talk a little bit about the transition?
Yes, sure. Yeah, for me, I think it played a significant role because it helped in the transition. I kind of had already built an strong academic foundation on especially business and what I was going to study. A little, I would say, kind of wet my feet at lecturing environment rather than being taught environment. And then what I would say was maybe the overwhelming part would be the transition from face-to-face to an online platform, which is what I basically moved to. And so the learning is definitely different. But yeah, I mean, the junior college was able to give me a introduction, if you will, to the university life that Galen you basically live when you're starting your journey with Galen.
Oh, fantastic. So 4 very different transition process, but I think at the end you all ended up at the one institution. And so now we want to hear a little bit more about how this has been for you. So were you ready? Were you ready for the self-discipline, the independence that coming to a university demands almost from you? Mia, we'll start with you again.
Well, to be honest, I was kind of being prepared for it, but on the other hand, I was kind of also being scared and maybe seeing to myself, maybe I'm not prepared for it, so maybe second guessing myself. But overall, I was ready to do the work. I was ready to jump into this new experience, I guess.
Fantastic. Mindset plays a key role. Absolutely. It was seamless for you, I know, Austin, but did you still find having that self-discipline and independence that was expected of you now in university an easy path?
Okay, so initially I thought it would be very challenging, which it turned out to be, but it just required a lot more effort for me to put in more effort into the work I do. But other than that, it's good.
It's good. It's good. So emotionally, academically, socially, were you challenged by in any of those ways, Celine?
I think for me, Miss Diana, academically transitioning from a high school into a junior college, I remember because you come from writing papers to now being required to write papers but using scholarly articles. So it's like, you have to be able to read a lot and put a lot into it. So for me, academically, it was indeed a challenge when I started with my bachelor's, but I remember going to professors, Dr. Macmillan, and she being there to just walk me through the process and calm me down sometimes. And I'm like, can I really do this? Am I just freaking out, or would I be okay at the end? And everything worked out, but to me, it was really challenging coming from high school straight into university.
Yeah, and thank you for the honesty. I mean, it is often challenging. It's just a whole change. You might not be able to speak about exactly that emotional or not being academically ready, Christian, but for you, was there a demand on you being more disciplined? You transitioned from face-to-face to online. How was that for you?
Yes, it was challenging in the fact that, especially when you're what do we call it? Not matriculation, but when you're basically have to, spend time with your advisors. Socially, I didn't know how to like react, how to do that, and I found myself trying to do it on my own, and it went really bad. Like I spent more time than I should have on just that part, and then academically, I did get like a blowout where the expectations are way different. As somebody had mentioned before, the type of level of work that you're expected academically is different from a junior college perspective. You would realize that there's a disconnect sometimes. Like you would think, oh, this is how I learned at junior college, but now university has a whole different sense of, I would say, there's a different responsibility that you got to do. A lot of it has to be doing with the way you write your papers has to be academically done, and I think that there was a challenge for me. But yeah, I was able to kind of self correct myself. But I also, like, I'm sure we're gonna speak more about it. Finding you finding people at Galen that can help you, because that definitely played a role in making the adjustments that I had to make.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter if you came from a junior college or straight from high school. There are some level of newness to coming to a university. And Christian just spoke to it was academically, the demands were different. So maybe he was ready socially. He had gone to a junior college, but still there. And Galen is known for its academic excellence. And most of our students or Eagles will tell you that the level that's expected when you attend Galen University, it's a higher demand on you. And so, but at the end of the day, this prepares Eagles for the workforce, and we do know that we get lots of comments, positive about the excellence that we produce. So thank you for choosing Galen while you're on here tonight. Did you know what career path you wanted to take? When you came to Galen, did you just select a major, or you know that you're on the path that you want for your career? Mia?
Well, for me, I was hard set on being a lawyer. I still am. That's my career path to go.
Yeah.
It's either being a defense attorney or paralegal, whichever. But I'm strongly set on a defense attorney. So, which is why I choose the criminal justice. And that's just it. I'm a hard set on that as being a lawyer.
Well, I wish you all the best, and I think you have what it takes to become a lawyer. So don't give up on your dreams. Some of us have dreams and then we let it drift away and we forget, but stay the course. Very good, Mia. Celine, how about you? Did you know?
Well, I knew when I started Galen, I knew in 2019 that I have a love for the criminal justice system. I have always had. So I did my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. But throughout the years, I have always been not only a student, but I had always been working as well. So, and my work was more of a business background. So throughout my journey at Galen, I started a business. So I was working, I was going to school, criminal justice, and doing what I love and following my career. But when I graduated with my criminal justice, I'm like, I have a business, I do business every day with my work. So I saw the MBA that they offered, and I decided to sign up for that. So I thought that, well, maybe there is a career shift for me with the criminal justice that I originally started with, and then now doing my master's in business administration.
Fantastic. I like the fact that you've always been an entrepreneur, and it goes to show you don't have to necessarily be studying business to be an entrepreneur, but it's good to have that business background, and you've recognized that. But it also speaks to the fact that you can take an MBA with whatever foundation you have at your bachelor's level. If you are committed to doing well, you can do it, and you can do well. So to our listening audience, please listen to the messages that you're hearing here tonight. Don't limit yourselves and feel like you can't because I didn't take business. You did criminal justice, and you're still succeeding at an MBA. Very good. Austin?
Okay, so initially I was looking into environmental science. I always was fascinated by wildlife. I'm a member of the Scout Association, but for me I was hard on I'm going to be an environmentalist. But then due to COVID and my last couple of years of high school going online, I found the potential of computer science and what that could do for me. So I ended up shifting towards that.
But do you still have a love for environmental
Of course,
stuff?
of course.
Okay. So good. But I mean, this is fantastic. We make decisions about career based on need and based on what we see as a need in our nation. So you made the switch based on what you thought would be profitable, if I
Yes.
may, for you, and that is also that doesn't mean you give up your love for and the environment. I'm sure that there are other ways that you can still pursue that environmental studies. And Galen does have a really good environmental science program. So hopefully you're taking some of those classes.
Yes.
Concentrating, wonderful. You can take concentrations in the areas that you're still interested in. Christian, did you always know the path you wanted?
Yes, and it intertwined. I had a leadership role as the village chairman of my village at Consejo. Just kind of exiting that when I got into my bachelor's with Galen, working on the bachelor's. And I chose business. That's even in high school I studied business, junior college business. So and I have an MBA from Galen right now. But it kind of went along with the path that I wanted. I owned a business since 2010. I still own it. I don't really run it. I have somebody that does that. But it did help. And then now I'm actually, even while I was pursuing my master's in business administration, I was able to transition from being a public officer, a rural community development officer, which I had basically started when I was doing my bachelor's degree with Galen, now to a general manager of a VPO in Corozal. So I've basically definitely used my education degree to its fullest.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Yep. And I mean, it's never too late to continue education. I mean, you don't have to stay focused on only one thing. I think that is very evident here. Coming from high school, Christian took business and he took in high school, but you could switch completely when you come to university. What did you do in high school, Austin?
I did science.
Sciences, yeah. And then now you're doing computer. Well, that's one of our science courses, but still, right? Mia, did you switch?
Well, mine was a general study program, which is a mixture of everything. So
Yeah.
basically, I guess you could call it a switch.
Yeah, well, but you had some good foundation to lead you anywhere. Did you make a switch, Celine?
Yes, somewhat. I did similar to you, me a general program at SCA, but they offer, so I did science, I did geography, and I did history. So criminal justice would consider a switch.
Yeah, good. I mean, coming into university from high schools, or from high school, do we really know what we want? Mia knows what she wants, and I mean, that's commendable. I mean, we some of us just take a path because we know we need to do university. But that brings us to the question, are you coming to pursue your tertiary education because you want to, because it's expected of you, because you have a career goal that you want to achieve? What is your drive and motivation behind why you're doing a bachelor's in computer science and pursuing tertiary education? Austin?
Well, in the beginning, it was more expected of me to pursue tertiary education. But then later I realized I actually want this for myself. It'll look better if I apply for jobs. So that's the main reason why.
Good. So expectation, but also it became something that you want. Mia?
Well, for me, it was mostly everything that I wanted. From a young girl, people called me weird for loving school because I loved it. Honestly, no idea why, but it was a drive for me.
Yeah.
And coming to my tertiary level, it was something I really wanted. And yeah, it just made me want to just focus on my career, focus on myself, and just go straight into it.
Wonderful. Celine?
I think for me, it's really something that I wanted to do or I want to do still. And I think it really piggyback off of me owning a business and just being exposed a lot to the business aspect of life. I kind of fell in love with it. So like I understand what Mia is saying and her love and her drive because I had that when I started. But I think what Galen does for you, the criminal justice pathway, for example, is really compact. So you can't do a minor with the criminal justice, but you really learn different aspects of the criminal justice. So that exposure sometimes it led me to say, okay, well, this is good, but there's something else that I would like to know about. And that would be in my case was the business and the business side, especially since I had a business at the time. So I think now I am heading in the direction that I want.
That's beautiful because Galen promotes lifelong learning. So I'm really, it's such a pleasure to hear you all saying that you yearn to learn, and for education. And whatever is the end goal, I mean, there is a yearning and you find a need for more. So fantastic. Christian?
For me, it's just it's been a journey. Anybody that knows me from my hometown that went to school with me, I was actually a high school dropout. So it's a very different turn for me. I just challenged myself to go back and got a GED. I did my junior college out of the fascination that I was able to top my class for the GED. And then Galen's online mode is what really allowed me to pursue. I can't say that I topped in my bachelor's level because it was really a transition and it was tough. It will talk a little more about how tough it was for me, but I was able to definitely want to do it, and it was necessary for the steps in the careers that I wanted to do. And so for me, it was more about personal growth and achieving knowledge and skills that I needed to excel. But I definitely was able to do it because of the online modus that Galen provides, for their education.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, this is such rich information. So people would drop out of high school and think that well, I just have to settle. Life happens, and Christian, your story is fantastic. You decided you would go back. You would get your GED. You would pursue tertiary education, and so this is a message to our viewing audience. If you feel like it's too late, it's never too late. If you feel like it's too late for you because you didn't get a high school degree, you can still do high school and do your tertiary education. So please don't give up. What was your biggest adjustment that you had to make as part of your transition to university? And are you fully adjusted? Do you think you're 2 years in, Mia? Austin, you are in your third year, 3 years in, you're now pursuing masters. So this won't really go for Christian. He's graduated, but for those of you who are still pursuing your degrees, what is the biggest transition? What did you have to adjust to? Are you fully adjusted? Let's go with you, Celine. You transitioned to a master's in business administration with a criminal justice background.
I think the number one good thing about that is both degrees are with Galen. So coming from Galen, you already know the kind of level of work that is required. So when you sign up to do any degree, or when I signed up to do my master's, I had to really commit myself to say, okay, Celine, this is what you want to do. And as it relates to transition, I think if I should look back at myself when I initially started Galen transitioning from high school, it was really time management. Learning to manage and to put aside what is not really necessary. Creating schedules that would help me and guide me. Okay, well, this is due. And on your device, on your phone device, there's a lot of apps that you can use. Like I use my notes a lot to jot down what is due. I use the calendar. I use reminders to remind me a couple days in advance. And those practices that I did during my bachelor's degree really helped me now with my master's, because although it is a different atmosphere, a different workload, it's still those core values that it shows me that you could really use them in your personal life. And also, no matter which degree you pursue, those are very, very good skills to have as you transition.
Fantastic, indeed. I mean, and that's what education does for you, right? It gives you the foundation you need so you can really, you are agile. Mia?
Well, for me, it would more or less be socially. Time management, I always tried to manage my time as best as I could. Socially, being like out of high school, yes, there are some people that are like older than me and some that are almost my age because at the time I was 15 years old when I started Galen University, so they were a lot older than me. And being from all the way down south, it was different. I didn't know anybody. There was this big cultural shock that I mentioned where I speak a different language and I had to get used to speaking in professional English because most people did not speak in Creole. So I guess that would be more or less what was challenging for me as a student.
And have you transitioned? Do you think you've struck a good balance now? The things that are challenging you initially, you've kind of overcome?
Well, yes, I believe that, well, not fully, as it's just my second year, but I feel like I've done really good progress on being social.
Fantastic. Austin?
So for me, it was more all about balance. I had to find the right balance between school life, social life, work life. And so it was all about balance. And I'm still trying to get it right, but I have it more or less narrowed down.
So the balance, very good. Yeah, so we're halfway through our show, so we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with the Galen Hour. Stay tuned.
Hello. If I was asked to describe Galen University in 3 words, I would say educational, innovative, and supportive. When I first started, I came directly from high school, and I did not know what to expect. But Galen University provided me with the tools and the resources I needed to succeed every step of the way, starting with their informative orientation session and advising system, which guided me to the right courses for my degree, to the classes that were taught by knowledgeable and skilled faculty members, as well as student peers, tutors, administration, and staff who cared about addressing the needs of the students. And let me not forget about student life and Galen clubs, where I met amazing individuals who are friends to this day. It was an amazing experience, and I still use the knowledge learned to this day as the owner of my own business, an adjunct lecturer, and a scout volunteer at the local, national, and international level. So you see, Galen provided me with the foundation that I needed. And this is why I am a proud Galen Eagle.
Welcome back to the Galen Hour. We're talking with 4 of our Galen Eagles. We're talking about the transition from high school to university, from junior college to university. That's independence that's expected of you, the challenge that comes both culturally, socially, emotionally. And so we want to start back, and I want to ask about, Galen boasts about the student-centeredness. We really are a student-centered institution, and all of you have been exposed to what that means. What was the most profound support that you got from Galen? What resonates with you? Mia.
Okay, well, as Celine mentioned, there was a bit of a drastic change on how we wrote our essays. We had to use APA 7th format and had to be cited from everywhere. And that was new to me because it was not really what we learned. So the thing that helped me most was the program that Galen University provides, the Student Writing Center. They helped me more or less recount what I did, see if I recited correctly, see if everything I did was by the books, and something that could not get me to either be failed. So that is one program that fully helped me.
So you find that very valuable, the writing
Yes.
center. Very good. Christian? Well, Christian is on. So since he's
Yeah.
looking back to us.
So for me, it was, I mean, Galen provides incredible support. And I spoke about the transition having a problem in the beginning, but it was because I was behaving like an island. Like I took, I was, I was advising myself of what courses to take and all kinds of wrong things that I was doing. And it wasn't until it just happened that I got a new advisor. And I'm not blaming the old advisor because I was the one that never reached out. But when I got a new advisor, I had a new chance to get it right. Her name is Miss Stacy Tews, and it went great right after that. Like I didn't realize that. Okay, for example, when I saw a course wasn't available, I was like, I'm not gonna sign up. It's not available. And then I didn't know your advisor could get you into these courses. Like when I told her, she's like, no, I'll get you in, and I'm like, what? And so like for a couple of years, I was just like missing courses because I thought, oh, it's not available. I'm not going to do it. And so that was one of the things that when I tapped into it, where I realized, okay, man, I should have done this from the beginning. So people transitioning, speak up, reach out to your advisors. Don't be afraid. They're there to help you. Because if you don't do it, you're going to be frustrated. And also, I think one of the things that I really loved about the Galen experience is the professors. A lot of them come from, yes, we have the faculty, but a lot of them come from professional backgrounds. So you'll have like CEOs of different, government or non-government business. So you get a lot of perspectives when they come and they teach your course. So I would say you get a professional network. And then, of course, Galen provides the academic resources, like the online library, where you have access to all the needed journals that you need to use for your stuff. And so and then eventually too, as you go building, you build a rapport with your peers, because there's a lot of group work, especially at the bachelor level. So you do need to build that because you want to be able to progress together. So that's what we found. That's what I found when I was at Galen.
Yeah, wonderful. I like that you brought up the advising because students tend to think that, I can do this on my own, and oftentimes they find that they would take courses that they didn't have to take. In your case, you probably missed courses that were not that were offered that you probably needed to take, but thought that, I won't. So we do provide advising. We really talk about the fact that our deans are accessible to our students. They are. You have an advisor assigned to you, and you should utilize that support, and it makes the transition, even the process, smoother, right? Austin?
Okay, so two of the tools that Galen really introduced to me were the writing center and the advisor. And so transitioning from high school to Galen, I didn't know I had an advisor. I wasn't used to having an advisor. I didn't have someone to say, hey, you should take these classes in this semester. You'll finish faster if you do it. Or I recommend you do these ones because that's more what you're interested. Some of those courses I didn't even know were there. And so my advisor is personal favorite, Dr. Aguilar. And so he's helped me a lot throughout my journey in Galen. And the writing center did wonders for me. High school taught me MLA, and so it's completely different from APA 7. And so in the beginning, I was struggling in my writing courses, but then I took a couple of visits to the writing center, and that really turned things around for me. I've since become a straight A in every English class I've taken.
Wonderful. Kudos to our writing center and Miss Lowe, who heads the writing center. And this is fantastic because Galen realized that we have students coming out, from high school, from junior college, but coming out of a COVID, where maybe the foundation wasn't set the way we needed it to, and that there was that need. And so I'm glad to hear that you're taking advantage of the services and the support that comes with coming to Galen University. Celine.
Ms. Diana, I think the number one support that I love from Galen is the professors. Like Christian mentioned, these professors are professionals themselves. This is what they do for a living. So when you go to them, they're providing you with real life examples that you can apply, or even in the courses that they teach, the examples that they use is from now, is from today, is what's happening in Belize, what's happening all over the world. So I really love that. Another thing I love is EBSCOhost, which is the library that you can use. You could find all of your academic journals that you need to source your articles, cite your articles, your APA 7th that you found you can learn in the Writing Center is really, really amazing. Like the moment you visit the Writing Center, and sometimes it's just the foundation that is missing. So for me, a big part, I struggled with English, so a big part of my success in the English was the Writing Center along with Dr. Macmillan. So me using the Writing Center and then being able to just send an email and get a response in a timely manner, something just with feedback helped me to structure my paper and my work to make things very, very different and better for me.
Yes, I'm really happy to hear, because when we market and when we recruit for Galen, we always say the proof is in our eagles. And so having you all sit here and speak to what we say to everybody else who we're hoping would choose Galen, I mean, it really speaks volumes. Now that Galen is not selling you dreams, and we're not, just saying things for the sake of saying it. What we're telling you that you get when you come to Galen, what a Galen education will offer you, it is true, right? So, and we do produce eagles that soar. So, I know people like to say as they hear Galen, oh yeah, we know Galen eagles soar, like, because our eagles actually soar. We do what we need to do internally to ensure you all do well. Will you be able to finish your degree in less than 4 years? Austin? Mia, any of you? I know coming straight from high school, sometimes one of the benefits of doing that is that maybe because you don't have to worry about credits not transferring, it's very clear what you need to get done, and so you maybe in some cases people can finish in a little less than the 4 years with a bachelor's. Any of you think that will be your case?
Well, that was my case.
That was your case.
Yes, I came straight from high school, and it's really exciting to even think about it, to say, well, you really save yourself a year. I came straight from SC, and like you said, there's no transferable courses, so you need to take everything on the pathway. But for me, everything was always available. And if you choose not to do a basic course, it is available to you sometime along the way that you can catch up and you can take it, or you can even get approval to overload it. So I started 2019 and I was completed 3 years after. So I was done and everything went as planned. So I completed it less than the 4 years.
Wonderful. Yes. Mia, do you think that might be the same case with you?
Well, seeing as how it's going, I have a strong positive mindset that it can go that way, and hopefully that it will go that way. That's kind of a plan as well.
Okay, good. Yeah. See, I mean, that's definitely one of the benefits of coming straight from high school. Austin?
So I had the idea that I could, if I really wanted to do it in 3 years, 3.5 years, I could do it. But I just really decided I'm going to take it easy, take things slow. I have friends that did start with me, and they're going to be finished summer next year.
Oh, wow.
So,
and you will have one more year after
and
that?
I'll still be finishing in 2026.
Oh, good. Yeah, so you can choose how your process flows. If you want to accelerate, as these ladies have done, you can. I like the fact that you want to take it easy, right? There are other things happening in your life other than school, right, Austin?
Yes.
Yes.
Or you can be like me with a tortoise story.
Tell us about your
tortoise story. So at the time, I became a rural community development officer for the government, right? So I had a lot of things going on. Talked about a business, talked about a career, and it kind of had me really downsize how many courses I was taking. So straight out of junior college, I kid you guys not, but it also proves the other point that you can work piece at it until you get there, which is a tortoise's story. He got to the finish line. It took me 5 years to complete my bachelor's degree at Galen University. 5 years. But along the way, that was basically, I was setting the pace because that was all I could chew at the time. And so, yes, I know some people have a race to finish school, but also you can piecemeal it to whatever works around your life, and making sure you keep up with all your commitments. And then at the time, yeah, I think I need to mention this. Galen didn't have this program with the junior colleges where they can transfer the credits
Two
like
plus
they
two.
do now. Right now, man, I was like, I was envious when I saw that play out. I was like, man, if I was only could have been during that time, because a lot of my credits didn't transfer, so I had to redo courses. But today, people that are transitioning from junior colleges to Galen, a lot of their credits can be transitioned. I believe, from what I gathered from the program. But yeah, that was my story.
Yes, you can come
Complete
from.
opposite.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That's an important point to make. So you can come from any junior college in our country, and a maximum of 6 to 7 credit hours can transfer. So for that to happen, though, you have to be transitioning in the same program. So if you're doing computer science as a junior college, you would want to transition into the junior college program at Galen, and then that way the maximum amount of credit hours would likely transfer. If you switch, which you can, and there's nothing wrong with that, then you might, as many credit hours will not transfer. But this is something we've signed MOUs with most of the junior colleges in the country. Even the ones we have not signed with, that is an approach that applies to all junior colleges. So this is really good for people who are finishing a junior college to know, because a lot of students do opt for that. They go to junior college and then they think about coming, what's next, right? So you all didn't have to worry about that. Everything that you take and took automatically counted towards your degree. But we all have our own paths that we take, and whichever works for us works. But I encourage people to consider Galen. It is accessible, and you really will walk away with an education that was worth your time and your effort. Do you have a preference in terms of your learning? The modality? I know Galen has made education accessible to a vast number of people because of our online platform. But I know Christian spoke to the access that was created for him. But do you have a preference? Any of you want to?
I do. I have a preference, and that would be online learning. I think, like I said earlier, I own a business and I also work. So being able to come off work, whether it is getting off 4 or 5 and having enough time to get home, probably get something to eat and just get ready for class at home, definitely worked out. I can't imagine it having to come off work and have to go to a location to do classes and then have to go home and all that. I think it would have been more tedious than it was already for me. So I really enjoy the online learning, and not only the online learning, but being accessible. So it's not like you're at home, but you're alone. Galen creates this atmosphere that you're at home, but you still feel like you're a part of, or you're in a classroom settings, because everybody, you can reach out to your teachers via emails, your peers, you meet friends, you have other sorts of communications outside of classes. So for me, online definitely works.
Online works. So online is accessible and it's convenient, which is what you just said.
Yeah.
Mia, what works best for you?
For me, I like the hybrid, where it's some online, some face-to-face, because in some areas, I tend to get distracted a lot, which who doesn't? But being in a classroom, an actual physical classroom, I tend to more or less focus on what is being taught to me instead of just having my attention diverted. Online, it is very good, like Celine mentioned. Coming from work, you don't want to go nowhere else. You just want home. That's all you want. So having classes online, it's been very helpful. But also having classes face-to-face has been helpful for me to not get distracted and to also really follow up. So if I have a question for a teacher, I could literally ask him after the class. So I wouldn't have to more or less have to wait till everybody comes out of the room on an online platform. I could just pull him to a side and ask, "Sir, I did not understand that. Could you maybe privately tell me how to do this problem?" or something like that.
Oh, good. Yeah. So you like the hybrid option?
Yes.
Austin?
Well, I've tried all of them, and I love all of them. But right now, I'm currently experiencing the fully online version of Galen, and it's been a big help to me in balancing in finding that balance in my life, it's helping me to say I have, while doing classes online, I don't have to travel as much from my home to school, which does take up time in my day. And with that time, I could be doing something else. I could be completing assignments, or I could be doing work at home, or I could be doing work at the job site. So it just depends.
Oh, good. So I think so convenience and accessibility. You mentioned accessibility, and was what for you, Christian, was you were able to access education as far as your MBA because of the online platform, right? But was that your preferred mode?
Yes, I was like Austin. I did a lot of it's online because that's what worked for me. But Galen has all of it. I recall during my bachelor's level that accounting, because Escuela Mexico was a place you could go for Galen, and then we did like math, because math is, for me, it's horrible to do math online. But we had the option to go face to face, and the professor would administer the course, on campus. So even for accounting as well, like some accounting courses, it's better to be face to face. So the beauty about Galen offers all the options. But yeah, I would say 90% of my studying was online, and then when I did the master's degree, we had a hybrid approach. You do a lot of your work online, but then you go and present your work, in person. So it was a hybrid approach. So yeah, so I think all modalities fits in the learning. But yes, for me, I would say 90% online.
Online. Wonderful. Okay, so I want to do a speed run of questions with you. This is just to get to know you all a little bit better. It's fun, and then hopefully we have time to have you all give your final words and your message to food farmers who are at the stage where they have to start thinking about what's next. So, happy eagles can sit still for hours waiting for prey. Would you rather have infinite patience or endless energy? Austin?
Endless energy.
Endless energy. Mia?
Infinite patience.
Infinite patience.
Christian?
Infinite energy.
Okay, so the male like the energy, the female want patience. Happy eagles rely on instinct for survival. Do you prefer to go with your gut or carefully strategize?
Strategize.
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 Yep. Yeah. Strategize. But that instinct, sometimes you have that intuition. Your instinct tells you that even the strategy you're thinking about is not right. Or is right. Anyway. Happy eagles prefer a rainforest home. Would you rather live in a dense jungle, Christian, or on a remote island?
Dense jungle.
Dense jungle.
Dense jungle.
Dense jungle.
Definitely dense jungle.
Dense jungle.
Jungle.
Nobody wants to live on a well, yeah, I guess. Good. A remote island. Yeah, all right. Happy eagles are masters of camouflage. Would you rather blend in anywhere or always stand out, Mia?
Oh, that's tricky, honestly. I feel the need to blend in, but I also want to stand out, so it's probably in the middle of it.
In the middle. Fantastic.
I like your answer, but I would think I would choose to stand out
Stand
instead
out?
of blending in.
Okay. Austin?
I'm with Celine on this one. I prefer to stand out.
Prefer to stand out. Christian?
I'm gonna stand out.
You're gonna Wonderful. Happy eagles are built for the hunt. Are you one to chase after challenge or wait patiently for the right moment?
Chase the challenge.
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 Chase the challenge. Harper eagles can spot their prey from miles away. Would you rather have super sight or super hearing?
Super sight.
Super sight.
Yeah, super sight. My sight's already bad enough.
Yeah, I need to be able to see.
You need to be able to see.
Yeah, super size.
Okay. Harper eagles fly at incredible speed. Would you rather be able to dive like an eagle or soar like an eagle?
I want to soar.
You wanna
I want to be high.
You want to soar, yes.
I want to soar. I feel like diving down, I'd fall and just break my neck.
Okay.
Soar.
Soar. Christian?
Yeah, soar.
Soar. Well, you are soaring eagles. Fantastic. Harper eagles are known for their precision. Would you rather be a sharpshooter or an escape artist?
Sharpshooter.
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 I think escape artist.
Escape artist.
Yes.
Sharpshooter.
Austin, yes. Harpy eagles nest in the tallest trees. Would you rather live in a tree house or in an underwater home?
Treehouse.
Tree house?
Depends. The underwater home is depends on the structure, I guess. But treehouse.
A tree house? All right. So, guys, harpy eagles swoop down on unsuspecting prey. Are you one to swoop in for surprises, Austin, or do you plan every move in advance?
Well, I plan every move in advance.
You do. All right.
I plan every move in advance.
Yeah, planning.
Plan. Christian, are you a planner
Yeah.
too?
No, I plan.
You
Yeah.
plan. Okay. Harpy eagles are super sneaky hunters. Would you rather be invisible for a day or have everyone ignore you like you're invisible?
Be invisible.
Be invisible.
Be invisible.
Be invisible.
Invisible, just for the day.
Just for the day. What would you do? What would you do if you're invisible for a day?
Strategize.
What would you do?
Strategize.
I'd have to think
Strategize.
about that one.
What would you, okay. Would you listen to a room of people who, I don't know, are making a decision about you? Harpy eagles don't skip meals. Would you rather win an all-you-can-eat buffet or get free snacks for life?
Get free snacks for life.
Free snacks for life.
Free snacks.
Free snacks.
Free snacks for life.
Free snacks for life. Fantastic. Thank you, Galen Eagles or Soaring Galen Eagles. So we have 6 minutes to go. So I'll give each of you like 30 seconds. What is your message to food farmers who in a few months, I mean this year is finishing, right? Christmas is around the bend. Will be faced with what's next. They should already be thinking about this, but what would you say to them?
I would say to them to do it now. I think a lot of time we think that, okay, well, you know, we have time on our hand, one. And not only, but also we say, well, I'll save it for later, or you just put it off. I think you're already on a pace. You already are accustomed to a certain extent going to school, doing homework, doing assignments. So although transitioning into a university may be challenging at the start for you, I think that if you look at it and you say that time will pass either way, and you get it done now, you will look at it and you would be so happy and grateful that you did it while you were young or while the time was available instead of putting it off.
Fantastic. Do it now if you can and if that's what's available for you. Mia, what would be your message to a food farmer?
Well, to Fort farmers, I'd say it's never too late to do it. It's never too early to do it. And I agree with Celine, but also there are some challenges that could prevent you, which is natural in everything. So I'd say do it when you can. Not push yourself to the limit that you'd be too exhausted to continue it and then maybe drop out at the end.
Oh, fantastic. So maybe there's a right time for everything and you need to
Yes.
know when is your right time. I like that. Austin,
So I would say to you guys, continue to work hard. Give it your everything. This is the beginning of your life. Take it serious. Build a good foundation. Possibly choose Galen. And just continue to work hard.
fantastic. Yes. I like that. Choose Galen. I want your advice to be a little bit different, Christian. Can you speak to the people who might have stopped high school and think that that's a dead end for them? What is your message to those adults out there who have stopped their dream of an education? And your story is fantastic. What would be your message to them?
Sure. First of all, I would tell them choose Galen. And second of all, this goes for both Fort farmers and people who adult continuing education. Start planning ahead. You know, exploring what interests you. Think about where you see yourself in the future. What steps you need to get there. Most important, be open to learning and growing, and don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. Because every level that you start, you know, going into university, you have to be able to adapt and change. I heard somebody say earlier on the show about transitioning from undergrad to graduate. Fun fact, graduate level is a lot more harder, but you just need to adjust, and that's all it really takes for you to excel. Adjust and move on, and so be open to that. Because for me, education is a powerful tool that can open up many doors. So take the time, make informed decisions like watching this show to get insights from Galen Eagles like ourselves. And one of the quotes that I love saying and I used in my speech at Galen's graduation this year is from Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change the world. That's my message to Ford farmers and people that want to continue their education and choose Galen.
Oh, thank you so very much. So to our viewing audience, I say to you, you've heard from our Eagles. The proof is in our Eagles. Galen is serious about educating Belizeans and the service that we offer. So when you choose Galen, all of the services that have been mentioned here tonight are accessible and available to you. You can come to Galen remotely via our platform. So you cannot use the excuse of I'm not able to attend school, because come rain or shine or COVID or whatever may happen, Galen's platform is tested and proven, and it has afforded so many of our Belizeans an opportunity to continue their education. So do not put your dreams aside just because of not being able to access an education. It is accessible, and Galen offers excellence in education. So with that, I want to say thank you so very much to our guests. Celine, thank you. Mia, thank you. Austin and Christian, thank you for sharing with us tonight and for being part of the fun of tonight's Galen Hour, but for giving some solid advice and sharing your experience at Galen. Galen is known for its academic excellence. We are proud to be Galen Eagles. We continue to encourage Belizeans to choose Galen University. So I'd like to thank you. We've come to the end of our Galen Hour for tonight. The Galen Hour is a production of Galen University. We're here every Wednesday night. We have 2 more episodes. So we have next week and we have our finale on the 4th, at least for this season. So this has been a season focused on our Soaring Eagles. I thank you for joining us. See you here next week, Wednesday, same place, same time. Have a good night.